right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of the Unleashed or Unbound podcast. I've already fucked it up. No, it's fine. I'm Cole, Riot Tag Rylanor.
Okay, I'm Hydra,
Armando.
and I guess Riot Tag, I guess Riot Tag Hydra, name's Armando.
What's up, guys? I'm Kevin. I'm Stardust on my Riot tag.
Very alpha name, very bad. This reminds me unironically of
Boy.
when
It's
you
been 2 seconds.
first day
Okay.
of school, you present like, "Hey,
It's been 2
hello, my
seconds,
name's Jose. My name is Jose, and my league name is Zedril."
Yeah, and a fun fact about me is,
Yeah, true. Yeah, more information.
We got a tangent already.
All right, yeah.
That's how it works.
That's a record
We
time.
no we do have a lot to cover though, especially with it being with the first episode, and I do kind of want to hop right into it with the most important news that I think that's come out in Riftbound in, well, maybe since the game launched, and that is the bans. We had Armando. I know you were playing Draven, and Kevin was also playing Draven.
Yeah.
So half our podcast got hit pretty hard by the changes, but I wanted to talk about the changes and kind of even go like card by card. But first, kind of like general opinions, like Armando, like what did you think? You think they did the right thing? Too hard, too soft?
Nah, definitely the right thing. I think Draven just had too many outs, too many things to play for. Obviously trying to win battles, and you can win battle by just sending the card away or, pushing it back. Also really dumb. So I think the bans are really good. I mean, Fight or Flight, I think it was great when it comes to mid-range, and then the scrap heat was great when it comes to Miracle. So I think overall happy. I didn't pick up Draven just to play it overall, but it's pretty fair, in my opinion. So I'll let Kevin go.
I thought the card bans were pretty good. Like, the spells and unit bans were pretty good. Some of the battlefields make me question it a little bit. I think we'll get into it, but sneak peek, the Reaver Row ban was good, but the other two, I do have some tips with it.
My terrible take. I think fundamentally the cards that were the units and the spells are fine. I'm actually very happy they targeted Scrap Heat because it ultimately it limited game design in the future. It's a free card. It's a free card.
No, you're crazy.
No, okay. Disagreement. Okay.
No, okay. You finish your thought.
Yeah, okay, fair. The Fight or Flight, one of the most disgusting cards in the game. You can play for free. It wins combats. It stops any hold strategies. It stops any like big unit strategies. Had to be removed. Had to get killed. But the battlefield ones, I disagree. Well, I agree with two of the bans, with Reaver's Rose. I play Kaisa, so I love Reaver's Rose, but I understand it's an unfair card. And that draw a card, play a spell, sure, I agree with that. That's fine. But the Obelisk of Power,
Yeah.
look,
Yeah.
going second.
Yes.
It's like
Thank
it
you.
has to be a
Yes.
65% loss rate. Like,
Yes.
if you lose the dice roll in this game, it's fundamentally. I feel like I lost. I almost feel like I lost the game. But it's so difficult to. It's so difficult because I don't know. They have to do something with going second. The reason people are running that is to be able to just have a slightly better tempo card, to play a 4 cost and then move up, because the 3 costs are not good. Anyway, I want before on the rant. The 3 costs aren't good, and going second sucks. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about it once we get into it.
It's because we're so heated, bro. I hate it, man.
Just some context for anybody that's listening. Like, before the bans were announced, Jose was doing the whole Kratos like Ares, like take my life, just like praying for them to ban Fight or Flight. It was, I mean, he was right. I think, like, as far as predictions go, Jose and I were really into the Red Draven ban. Kevin thought that was stupid, so I'm going to call Kevin out on that.
I didn't say it was
an
stupid.
excellent ban. No, I'll let you finish. What were you saying?
I said that the Red Draven ban isn't what makes the deck good. It will definitely hit the deck, but the problem cards were, obviously the call shot and stuff like that. But I thought the Draven ban was still pretty good. I didn't think that if the card was just Red Draven that was getting banned, then the deck is still like the best deck ever.
Okay, yeah. The question is, do you think they have to do more to fix Draven?
Personally, think if they really wanted to fix Draven, I think it needed to be a tap system where the Draven is tapped or something, or maybe like how combat damage has to be done. But I mean, the Red Draven still it hurts the deck, right? But it doesn't fix, like, I feel like the root problem. Because if you're drawing multiple cards in a round, like It's just, yeah. Like, there's no other deck that does that. You know what I mean? Like, every other busted legend has to be tapped. Like, Ezreal, you have to target 2 and then tap. You know what I mean? Like, and then there's literally, like, battlefields that say untap your legend. Why doesn't, why doesn't Draven have to have that? So that's
Yeah.
kind of my feel.
So my thing looking at the bans is it looked like they were targeting 3 decks. You had the Miracle archetype, you had Draven, and then you had Aurelia.
Yeah.
I think that, and this is maybe my like controversial take or something. I don't like Cult Shot, clearly. I don't know why they didn't just ban Rasa. I think that Rasa would have been a better ban to get rid of like the Miracle archetype, personally. And the reason that I'm so anti scrap heap ban is Jinx is like dead in a gutter. Like
Yes.
at this point, like that deck are like I love Jinx, and every time I played it, I basically never used like the legend ability, which kind of sucked. But like that deck is stone cold unplayable now.
Yeah.
And like I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna change. And like it sucks that she's potentially just going to be right. So like if you ban Rasa, obviously I still think the called shot should have been banned, but I really would have loved to have seen them ban Rasa instead of Scrap Heap. That's kind of my hot take, because I think that like your point, Jose, about like limiting design is true, because if you have that card in your hand, you discard, it's just like a free draw. But like Jinx she's dead in a ditch somewhere now. Like you cannot play that deck, and there's literally no reason.
Complain about Garen then. Garen names are telling me join the club, buddy.
Look, but Garen's fine.
Hold on.
It was like a starter deck. Like nobody cares. Like I don't know. And like also Garen's gonna be a thing later, in my opinion, right? Like if you look at the legend ability, we have 1-drops now. We have ambush, right? I don't know how much of that is in orange yellow, but like I genuinely believe at a certain point Garen could become good just by them making units or making tokens.
Okay, we're getting off topic here.
All right, whatever. Point is, I think that the bans were perfect. The only thing that I would say is I was not expecting them to ban battlefields.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
That thought never crossed my mind. I will say that. Yeah, I will say that. Like only looked at the legends.
Any other takes?
I would semi agree with that. Semi.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't think any of them were busted completely though? Like obviously Reaver's Row was just unplayable.
I thought that they were good.
So here's the thing.
They were good.
So then let's jump right into it. Let's start with the battlefields then. Let's get into
it. Yeah,
so,
let's just go card by card, right?
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with the battlefields. So that's where the unison doesn't, like, the uniformity collapses. Like it's not duality. Oh, both players get equal advantage. One card isn't inherently broken. Like you can build a whole deck around Dreaming Tree and like get infinite value over it, but like inherently there's still like just kind of that, that parallel where both players get like equal advantage.
See, I think that's an interesting point. And the reason that I think that's so interesting is like my mind immediately goes to Monastery of Hirana, right? When I'm playing Jax, at least when I was playing Jax before the rules changed, like basically no other deck could make use of that. I mean, I haven't played against like a set in set 2 like at all, right? But I had my Warmogs, I was triggering, I was drawing. Like, do you think that, in my opinion, when you build a deck, like half of the benefit of playing strategy is maybe you're able to use a battlefield that benefits you more, but on the other hand could end up benefiting your opponent. Like if you're playing Hall of Legends, the one where you pay 1, you untap your legend, and you end up going against like a Victor or something, that sucks, right? You're probably very unhappy to see that. But against other matchups, it doesn't matter at all. Do you think it's problematic to have battlefields that can be played asymmetrically? Like, is Monastery of Hirana a bad card design? Can't take advantage of it.
I would defend Kevin here, but the problem with Reaver's Row is that it fundamentally breaks the Draven scenario. Because I will say this, Reaver Row does break the fundamentals of the game, because avoiding combat, the game wants you to have combat, and that's the only battlefield that avoids that. I'm pretty confident the whole game. It warps the game also because it gives a free card draw for Draven, which is another reason to hit it. And honestly, it's just too pervasive. I like Kaiser ran it. Draven ran it, and they're pretty popular decks, and it's
Aurelia
just
ran
too
it
much.
because
I really, some I really.
you used to
Yeah.
be able to do the thing where you would choose the unit and it would
Yeah.
get like the
plus
ready,
one,
plus
yeah.
one, whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess that brings up the second question. If instead of banning these cards, instead they changed the rules or looked at the rules and defined combat
Yes.
as
That's the core problem. Yeah, I agree.
damage
Yeah.
has to be dealt in order for this to be considered a combat versus just
Yes.
a showdown. If they did that, do you think they still would have needed to ban these cards?
I think that I think if they had fixed that, Red Draven probably wasn't even the problem there. Reaver's Roar wouldn't have been a problem there. I think kind of answering what you were saying earlier, where it's like, oh, is it so like does Harana need to be banned then? No, because nobody's like utilizing Harana like multiple times, where the balance shift is just too insane, right? Because like you're drawing a card, you're saving a unit, so then like your whole board gets filled up, you're drawing cards, you're amassing cards in your hand, as opposed to Harana where you're spending a buff, and then next turn you have to get off of it, and then you have to go back on it with the buff. So it's like, yeah, it's quite better for like one player, but it doesn't like break the game as opposed to Reverse Row.
Following up on the
Yes.
specific question, if they changed it so that combat meant damage had to have been dealt in order for it to be considered combat, do you think they would have needed to ban Fight or Flight or Reaver's Row?
Well,
I-
Yeah,
I think-
yeah,
I think
yeah.
Fight or Flight
Well,
just
I
has
mean,
to go.
I know,
Yeah.
I know how you feel about Fight or Flight, but like, how much of a difference do you think that would have made, all things considered? Do you think that they should have done that even with banning these cards?
I think that they're targeting core problems. I think that they're targeting like cards like Reaver's Row and Draven for the reason that like, oh, you have to win the combat doesn't have, or sorry, Reaver's Row and Fight or Flight. Those two say that like basically you win it without combat being dealt. They're like
Rebuke
patching.
still does that though.
Yeah, Rebuke still does that, but it has like a heftier cost as opposed to like Fight or Flight. You do that. Yeah, you recycle too.
I guess, but whatever.
Fight or Flight can be hidden, be free, and also it can gank. It can help you gank to other lanes. You play
Yeah.
it, you ready next round, you move your unit back, Fight or Flight it, and you can attack the other battlefield.
Yeah.
The flexibility of it, that's the problem.
I think so.
Yeah,
So
which was
they're
exacerbated.
so I personally think that they put band-aids on the problem rather than the actual core problem that combat needs to be dealt. So instead of banning those two, if they fix the problem, I think they could have kept the two cards. So to answer your question, I think that Fight or Flight and Reverse Row might have been able to stay if they fixed it.
I think that Reaver's Row could have stayed. I think that every other card still needed to have been banned. No question. No question. Yeah. I think that Fight or Flight is still broken. And I think that, again, the core problem with Red Draven is he's always 6 might no matter what, because you can't attack into him and he comes out on 4. And I mean, Obelisk obviously made that very good. I think that even if they changed the rules so that combat damage needed to have been dealt in order for it to have been considered a combat, I think that would have saved Reaver's Row, but I still think that they would have needed to have banned everything else, personally.
I guess the core question is: do you think the rules are implemented well in this game?
No.
No.
And I have also like, and it's fascinating because again, I was kind of talking about it earlier before the podcast started, but like I've been watching a little bit of like One Piece content, and like every other TCG content creator that I follow or listen to, like 99% of them have commented on how messed up Riftbound's wording and rulings are. Like literally, that is like something that the game is known for at this point. Like I've seen Reddit posts online where somebody's like, I'm not new to TCGs. Every Riftbound game I played, like me and my opponent have to like stop and figure something out. Like that is an extremely common issue that people are running into. It kind of upsets me that like they didn't make the combat change, because like what is the difference between, obviously I know it, but like the difference between combat and a showdown is like, why is it worded that you have to win a combat and not win a showdown?
If we're talking about all this together, like, why do you think the rules are so messed up? And this is why this is why we have so many random erratas constantly. I just don't think they have the right to not give the amount of resources to this game.
No,
I didn't think that they honestly thought this game was not going to be as successful. And I know they constantly mention, oh, we have like pros, at the back end playing the alpha and doing all this. I'm like, but one thing that always reminds me of like how messed up that they never thought that Aurora was going to be played the way that's going to be played now. This Aurora type of play style, whatever exists. And I'm like, look, I this is my first TCG. Okay, hey, I'm a boom. Hey, whatever. I play card games like in online card games. Any card that can give you free resources. It's insane. I don't have to be a pro to know that someone's going to try to build something around them.
All right, last comment. We got to go back to
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
Well, I have some things to say like about that too. Like real quick. There's that famous photo of like the Discord screenshot of like the designer who was talking about Proving Grounds, who was like, we didn't know Yi and Annie would be this powerful. Free resources. It's free. It's free. Like that's always going to be so good. Like that's crazy. And the last thing before I do agree, Kevin, we should talk about the rules. And like, obviously I love this game, right? But like, as somebody who came from Magic, it's almost inexcusable with the amount of information that exists out there with other TCGs that have existed for years and years and years and years and years, Magic specifically. Like, I don't understand how a company as large as Riot, with the amount of resources that Riot has, would make these mistakes if they have, 30 years of Magic the Gathering to pull from. It's honestly, at a certain point, it's inexcusable.
Yeah, I feel
the only thing
right.
that we haven't talked about is Miracle. The only thing we haven't talked about is Miracle. Is Miracle dead? Yeah, Miracle's dead.
Yes,
Miracle's lying in the gutter next to Jinx. Like
Hitler dead. Hitler dead.
Yeah, like completely dead. Like I don't like Miracle. It's just not a thing anymore. I think that this has made like Aurora better, but like I don't know. The thing about Miracle is I just don't think they like the play pattern. It's just dead.
Yeah.
Like that's
I think.
Do you defend it? What do you think about Miracle or the detonate? You think it was healthy at all? Like I don't know. I think we're all in agreement.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was skeptical.
What's up?
I thought that the detonate was like slow. No, that thing is like it's just not even. Yeah, there's no counterplay to it. It's just you draw the engine and that's it. And I do want to say that I don't remember what you're saying, Cole. You said don't ban like Scrap Heap or something like that. I think that when you don't ban like certain key cards of a deck, like they can just like you were saying ban
Rasa.
what is it, the Rasa, right? Yeah. So I think there are already decks that play like that mid range, that like, so the package is still there. The package of the called shot, all that stuff is still there. So they can they lose a Rasa, but then they pivot to like something else. You know what I mean? You gotta ban you gotta ban the. Oh, they were playing mid-range Miracle. So they were playing Overzealous. They were playing like some of the small units, but they still had like the big units. I think that when you put band-aids on things, like people can adapt and like pivot. So like similarly, like for the ban list here, it's like Draven is getting hit, but Draven's still really good because the core problem is the drawing, I think. So Red Draven's hit.
I'm talking about within the context of the bans. I would rather they have banned everything, but instead of Scrap Heap, ban Rasa. That's my point. Because I love playing Jinx, and she's just really bad now.
Okay.
She was already really bad.
But you tell me that, and Gary looks at you and like I'm playing Gary.
No,
look, I get it. But like, there's so many bad, dude. There's so many bad champions, bro. Like, how many? Okay, of all the champions that are released,
dude, her structure,
they're not playable. They're not playable.
Illegal. Out of the box now.
True. Yeah, you can't.
That's okay.
Garrett has his own tier of badness, and like literally at this point, Jinx is in it. Like she's awful, and it's
okay. One question relating to the bans. How do you feel about the people who said that like we shouldn't have banned anything because the game is too early, or I spent too much money on my deck?
Look, I love a good meta buster, but that is cope. And like, I think that a lot of that genuinely comes from the fact that you can look at everything that Riot has said, even in the ban announcement, and even they know that Draven was a mistake. They called it out, right? Like, this isn't one of those situations where it's like, oh, if we give it more time, the meta is going to evolve, the meta is going to figure it out. There were design mistakes that have happened here. I don't think that you can legitimately look at a meta that has been affected by like day one erratas in both of the sets that have come out and be like, everything was designed so well that people are just going to figure out how to deal with this. Like, I think that backdrop genuinely like acknowledges the fact that there are cards that are problematic and needed to be addressed. Just straight up.
And for the copers, I'm gonna call them copers. You know, I
Yeah,
also
they're copers.
it was hurting the community. Okay, it was hurting the
Oh, yeah.
culture. Like, and I don't mean this like people. I wanted to quit the game because I hated Miracle. Okay, that
Yeah.
like it was to my brain. I'm like, bro, I'm playing a deck that loses to this, and I can't do anything against it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
And I refuse to play it. That's my choice. Maybe I should be better. Maybe I should adapt. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
if you're like an Andy, a new player, and then you play against Miracle, and they put 30 might in 2 turns, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I don't play the game. That pushes people out of the community. That pushes people out of the community, and people, and I think Riot. That's another reason Riot was doing it. Like, it's unfun play patterns, and it matters. It matters a lot.
And not just
I
that,
agree.
like one other thing that I would like to say is like, and again, I'm, Jack's player, right? I'm torturing myself. I think that like there's something to be said about if you want to be the best and you want to perform the best, usually you play the best deck. And if the best deck is something like Miracle that is like so fundamentally different from everything else in the game, that's also unhealthy. The fact that like those games were taking forever.
Yeah.
Right? Like Miracle fundamentally was problematic and needed to be removed from the game. And there's no amount of meta shifting that would have changed that.
Yeah, it's probably one of those decks where it's for those who like don't really know how Miracle plays, you don't interact with the other player. You play cards like Detonate and like Treasure Trove. You hit the Treasure Trove, you draw a bunch of cards, and then like you just keep doing that, right? And you play cards that cycle more cards, and you do that to a point, and you forget about the board. You forget about what your opponent does, right? You're not playing a two-player game. You're playing solitaire. You got to get the cards in your hand, and and then once you have enough cards in the hand, right? You don't even need a bunch of mana because all your cards are free. You slam all your cards down.
What's mana?
Runes. Sorry, you play runes. And you slam all the cards down, and then next turn you play Bryn here, right? Bryn here says your opponent can't play cards. So then you do that every game, right? There's no pivoting from the game plan. There's one game plan. There's no interaction to that game plan, and if you're not playing that game plan, you're not. You're just gonna lose. You're not playing. You're
And
not
your
playing.
turns take 40 minutes.
Yes.
And
So yeah,
everything goes
that's Miracle in a nutshell. But yeah, I think this ban list was needed, or else similar from like Jose said, I was also getting pretty upset at this. I was like, okay, well this game is not. I actually wanted to see Bryn here on the list too. I'm a Draven player, and I just don't think it's fair for all the other decks. I think Bryn here needed to go, but
That's actually the next question, and I kind of want to I kind of want to go around, starting with you, Armando. Are there any cards that you think are missing from this list?
I think I'm good. I don't think anything else was missing. I don't think Brimir was that busted
Crazy.
to include in here.
No,
Okay.
damn.
I don't think so. I never had issues playing Ramir or playing against Ramir. I don't know. It's because I play a lot of yellow decks. I don't know. I think he's fine. I don't care for him.
Bryn here is a girl, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew
Really?
that, but
Let me Google that up.
Yes.
Bryn here's a woman.
Rule 34.
Kevin.
Yeah.
No. Whoa. None of that. Kevin,
Alright.
what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think Bryn here is definitely missing on the list. Here's my philosophy for card games, and I think Riot should maybe employ me for a
Listen
small
to this
period of time,
podcast.
just to give a little bit of context. So when you play cards that say your opponent can't play cards this turn, that is inherently stopping gameplay, right? Like I'd rather cards be like, so let's just say if you need a card to counter Irelia, right? Like you can play cards that say, oh, if your opponent readies a card, or counter a card that readies a card, or your opponent cannot ready something, like counter an aspect of the card, like an aspect of
You're
the
saying
deck.
there's no
Or
counterplay.
no, but the thing is, so that is inherently what I'm saying. I'm saying
Yeah.
they need to target things that are specifically to an aspect of the deck or a deck, rather than stop gameplay period. You know what I mean? This card is just like it doesn't help gameplay, in my opinion.
There's no counterplay is your ultimate point, right?
I mean,
Like,
yeah, the counterplay is kind of like, oh, let me slam all my stuff down. But if you have anything other than reactions, then you just don't get to play it.
valid. I think that Bryn here, I don't know how problematic she is now, but I do think that she's going to be problematic in the future. I think that cards like that are kind of along those lines. And I think I know what Jose is going to say
Oh,
in
boy.
regards to, like, I think that there are some cards that exist in the game right now that are problematic in regards to limiting future design space. I think that Bryn here plus Rebuke is an auto win, like 99% of the time that you play it. I think that the Draven deck has maybe slowed down enough to where you can't get to that point as quickly. So I think it's definitely less of a problem, but I wouldn't have been surprised if they banned it, is my point.
So,
Jose, what you got? I know,
It
I think
has
I
to
know what
be.
you're going to say.
It has to be Aurora. Okay.
Yep, I know.
Dude,
I knew
that
he was gonna say that. I knew he
stupid
was gonna say
dragon.
that.
Okay, I know that, but that stupid dragon, dude, it limits game design because at the end of the day, that card is so busted and broken. A 12 mana, look, I know we're going ahead, but a 12 mana unit that kills up to 2 locations and your base, like, that's insane. Like,
Elder Dragon.
Elder Dragon, the monster. But I'm just saying, like, dude, giving free Roshers like that, it's just so unfun, bro. I don't understand. And I'll say for the Brimhere ban, I don't get the Brimhere ban. I get the Brimhere ban, but if you want to ban Brimhere, you have to hit Irelia more, and you have to ban Celicorn because I think Brimhere allows it makes the Irelia matchup more even. I think it's really the problem right now. Anyway.
Okay. I knew you were going to say Aurora. And the one comment I have on Aurora is that, like, the way that the game is designed, it's not like Magic where somebody has like a certain amount of health and you can kill them really quickly, right? You have to get a certain amount of points in order to win. And they can play things like Aspirant's Climb that make it so that that takes even longer. And if they draw their catalysts, if they draw their stuff, like, they're able to get this out pretty quickly. My biggest problem with Aurora is not that it is too strong, but my biggest problem with Aurora actually goes back to the Miracle argument, where it's like, if you're in purple, you should probably be playing Miracle. It breaks my heart that if you're in orange, you really should probably just be playing Aurora.
Yeah.
That just makes me, like, sad. When set 1 came out, Misfortune looked really cool, and I was like really interested and invested in like playing Misfortune. But it's like, oh, it's an Aurora deck. You look at Volibear, it's an Aurora deck, right?
Yeah.
Master Yi, it's an Aurora deck.
Garen.
Yeah, so like Lucian is like the only exception, and that's because Lucian's like fairly narrow in that regard. But like, I really hate that like every orange deck is an Aurora deck just because it's so strong. I don't think they're gonna ban it, but I think that when it rotates out, I'm not gonna be sad.
Going back to what you're saying, I think similar to Miracle, Aurora is kind of like the solitaire deck where you don't care about your opponent. You can't do anything about your opponent, really. Like, they do what they do and you do what you do. You either get Aurora or you don't. You play enough cards to draw, enough cards to ramp, and it's not really like you're interacting with your opponent. There's one game plan and you stick to it. That's pretty much Aurora. I personally don't think it's good enough to ban just yet because it's not doing anything really. And I think that, like, you're saying that it limits design. I actually think it actually promotes design. I think that Aurora is the only deck that Elder Dragon can really be played in. You play it in anything else, and like Elder Dragon just feels like 90% of my games I'm never going to 12 mana. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of like their thing. Like, they make Aurora for that very niche. Like, you don't have to think too hard. You're playing a little bit of solitaire. It's not doing amazing in every tournament, but it's not doing horrible. I think it's kind of like, I think that's what they were going with for that.
I mean, maybe. Here's, I think, the thing that I'm looking forward to the most in regards to Riftbound changing or getting, you know, more mature with these cards, especially in set 1. And I'm sure you guys are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a point in set 1 where you're looking at your deck and you're like, okay, well, if I take these cards out, what the hell could I put in? There's like only like 3 other cards in this color that exist, right? And like, we only have 2 sets, right? Yeah. And we're going to go up to 3. But like, we still have a very narrow set of cards. But what I'm looking forward to, and like, I'll reference Elder Dragon, is like Dragon Tribal is going to be a thing, right? You have Herald of Scales. It makes it so your dragons cost 2 less, right? You have like Dragon Tribal is coming up. It's going to be a thing. And I think it would be cool if Dragon Tribal was like a payoff, and like the Elder Dragon was like a payoff for playing Dragon Tribal, as compared to click Aurora 3 times and then filter for greater than 8 energy and put literally everything else that's in orange and whatever color you have in that deck. Because like, you're saying that Aurora is the only way that you can play Elder Dragon, and like, kind of the point is, you're not really playing Elder Dragon if you're playing Aurora. You're playing whatever the hell you're spinning off the top. So like,
the roulette.
yeah, like it's the roulette. And like, I agree that like a lot of these really high payoff cards are really difficult to play, right? Like anything that has like 3 energy cost, or not 3 energy cost, 3 power cost, dude. When do you ever play that? And I think that's your point with Aurora, right? But Aurora just bypasses that as compared to this is a really difficult card to cast. Let's reward you for building your deck in a way. And I think that's kind of the other thing that's a little weird that I'm looking forward to seeing how they can maybe change is like power costs are really generic, right? And like one of the big problems with Draven was that if you played Treasure Hunter, you just had a bunch of power. And that was awesome because then you could pay for everything and like you wouldn't go down on rune. Because if you just get gold tokens, that's just good in every deck, right? It's better in some, but that's just good in every deck. But like having something like the Elder Dragon cost 12 energy and 3 power, like that's like a lot. But the way to pay for it shouldn't just be Aurora, right? There has to be other ways that we can make these really high cost, like expensive cards be playable without Aurora. I think that when we get more cards, hopefully we start to see more archetype specific payoffs rather than domain specific payoffs. Because I think domain specific payoffs is where we are now. And I think that's what makes a lot of decks feel really samey, right? Like, why is the Garen Aurora deck so crap compared to the MF Aurora deck? Well, it's entirely because of the legend. It's entirely because of the legend. But Aurora is just a package that you play in orange, right? So I don't know. Not every deck should be able to play Elder Dragon, right? It's a 12 energy card. You should figure a way out so that you can get rewarded for playing it. And I do genuinely think there's going to be enough support for a Dragon Tribal Volibear deck. And I think it will be like somewhat good.
Playable.
Yeah, somewhat good, right? I think that maybe they need to figure out card draw, but you can play your Herald of the Scales. You can play the 5-mana Accelerate Dragon, channel that rune. Like I do genuinely think that there's something to be said there. And again, I'm really looking forward to the first like card specific package, Poros, whatever you want to call it, as compared to domain specific package.
All right, we're getting off topic. Should we
Yeah,
talk about
exactly.
the meta going forward?
Well, last thing, because we talked about bans, and like I want to talk about the rules changes, but in my opinion, there's really only one rules change that mattered, and that was them lobotomizing Jax. It sucked.
Not 11 for Jax players. Not 11 for Jax players.
Nah.
Actually,
Dude, like
ironically,
pour one out. Like in my opinion, like they said it was a bug that they needed to fix. I don't think they needed to fix it. I genuinely don't understand like why. I don't know why they did that. Jax is like the only legend, and I don't think it was unintuitive.
Okay,
I
that's
think
pretty.
it's
That's cool.
ad,
But
like, dude, look, I played that
I don't
deck
know.
once. It was not meant to do that. That's all I can say. But it's a pretty
But
terrible
it's the
deck.
only thing that makes it somewhat
you're
okay.
right. You're right. I'm not saying you're wrong,
Oh
but
my God.
it was not meant to do that.
okay, I'll say one thing. I understand that rule, like in the rules, I get it. It was an intuitive to any normal human being, apparently, except Jax players.
Yeah.
But
600 IQ.
yeah. But fundamentally, I don't understand why hit a deck that's not that good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it allowed a
Yes.
different archetype that was different. If the deck was the most busted deck in the meta, cool. Put it. Hey, back of
It
the
changed the
shed,
Jax
shoot it.
thing, but
Yeah.
not like the Draven thing. Like,
Yeah.
like why change one rule and not the other? Why not make the combat rule change? Like, like it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
For those who are listening, and we haven't really shared the context. So basically, it's a mechanic where you take the equipment that's already on the guy and you tap your Jax unit, and it's basically you're putting the same equipment back on the same guy, and it regains the effect
Trigger
of
all of the
stuff.
effects.
Yeah, so like Brutalizer and Aphelios, those were the main things that I really stopped. But yeah, so basically this mechanic lets you use its equipment attach ability again on the same guy.
Yeah.
And
So it was called juggling, and you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So you can, but nothing triggers. So now
Yeah.
Brutalizer, you have to move it to a different unit in order to get like the additional +2. And I've just straight up taken Aphelios out of my decks because he's just bad now. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
and,
payoff. Yeah.
I think one other rule change worth mentioning is the
triggering.
triggering. Yeah, so you have to cards like Overzealous, where in order to trigger, you have to actually sacrifice the unit. Additionally, what the
Specifically, you have to pay the cost to put the trigger on the stack.
Yes.
So
Yes.
going back to like orange decks used to run Cannon Barrage to kill the overzealous fan in combat so that they couldn't do it anymore. But now, if you have an overzealous fan, if you want to use the overzealous fan ability, you have to sacrifice the overzealous fan to put the trigger on the stack. So now, like, the Cannon Barrage thing doesn't work anymore because, like, they have to pay the cost to select it, right?
Yeah.
And that's that would also have affected Aurelia with Reaver's Row, but Reaver's Row is banned, so it doesn't matter anymore. Are there any other cards other than Overzealous Fan where that's like really a big deal? Because I'm pretty sure that's the biggest one.
For not so fast, right? That's another core part, right? They still have to pay the cost to trigger the ability, and you can not so fast the trigger, but the unit still dies.
Yes,
right?
yeah. Well, they still lose the unit. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So you can still not so fast it, but that would still happen afterwards. So that shouldn't have changed too much. I think that Overzealous Fan is the biggest one, but those were the two main rule changes. Again, fixing Draven but lobotomizing Jax.
Yeah.
Breaks my heart.
Yes.
Now, with all these bans and these, rule changes, I think that the next most important thing is it's the 12th as of the time of this recording.
Yeah.
So Lille is coming
that's
up
on
this next
spreadsheet.
weekend. Yeah. And I think the big question was when the bans happen, what's the meta going to look like? I think we know what the meta is going to look like, but it'll still be interesting. So we'll probably pull it up on the screen, but there was the biggest tournament point of reference that we have before the next regional is the New Zealand 10K.
Yeah.
And the top 8 of the New Zealand 10K was Draven, Lucian, Draven, and Victor. So Draven's still good. Draven's still very good. I think that I do want to call out, I think that the top three decks moving into Lille. Armando, go.
Top 3 decks. Draven 1.
Top 3 decks and a dark horse.
Top 3 decks and dark horse. Okay, so Draven, Irelia, Victor. Top 3. Dark horse. I'm gonna say Rek'Sai.
Whoa. Okay.
What world are we living in?
What is going on here?
Yeah, that's a hot take.
How's that
Kevin,
very
Kevin,
hot
you
take.
go.
That is
Kevin.
spicy. Well, okay. So as of right now, I think Draven is number 1. I think Irelia is number 2, very close in contention with number 1. I think that Irelia got hit the least in the bans, and I think that she got
hurts her though.
It hurts, but it's like it's like you still have Stellacorn. The draws you don't. And there's actually in my playtest there's actually this one spirit wheel that I started seeing more often where every time you every time you ready something
you target something.
yeah, every time you target you draw a card, so it's a little bit slower than Dreaming Tree by a tad bit, and I've seen a lot of things going on with that, and I think it could be a good addition if you are playing Irelia. I genuinely think that Irelia is in contention with Draven for the number 1 place because of how little it got hit and how strong it still feels. So I'm gonna say those are top 2, and number 3, I think the biggest benefit, the biggest winner of these hits and is probably Victor. I think that because Victor now, I genuinely think. I don't even think it's that hot because it's well, if Irelia got hit the least and now it was already doing good, now it's going to do better. What's one deck that does good against it? Victor, right? Because Victor does good. The salvages kill all the units, and then the Call of the Week, all that stuff kills the guy. So I think he's the benefactor of the ban list. I think the dark horse, I want to say Lucian, because here's the thing with Lucian. Any deck that can play solitaire is always good, right? So then you play Lucian, right? And you play if you can hit your Triforces and all your and his signature spell Relentless Pursuit, if you can hit those, you can win every game. I said you can win every game. You hit those cards, you win every single game, right? But again, like you need the combo pieces to do so, and I think that's kind of what happened in New Zealand, where the Lucian player got that far by just
It
getting the
really
cards he
stinks that those
needed.
matches were not streamed. We will call that
Yeah,
out.
yeah, but that's what I think. That's what I think happened. It's where like when you play a solitaire deck and you just so happens every card you flip is like just solitaire, you win, right? So there will always be times where that happens. So I think that's going to be the dark horse.
All right, Jose, what you got?
Obviously, Draven. And obviously, Draven's still busted. I mean, strong. The format became a little bit less disgusting. Irelia, because they didn't ban Celicorn, that stupid unit. It lives one fucking turn. No, dude, unironic is what happens. Two drop. They put like a Zanyas or they put form of protection. And they put Celicorn, second round, it's over. You lose the game. That's insta loss. They draw infinite cards. It's disgusting. It's a problem, and they need to change that. But I also think it's Kaisa because she fundamentally beats victors. That's my logic. And I think yeah.
Oh, this is not biased at all, guys.
Dude,
He's
I love
definitely not the
Kaisa.
Kaisa player.
Yeah, I love Kaisa. Yeah,
One
I love
Kaisa
Kaisa.
player. He's not biased, guys. Don't worry.
But obviously, I understand that Kaisa loses to Irelia. I think you can play around that by the monkeys to get excited, but it's still very difficult. But I think the dark horse, honestly, I don't think it's Lucian because he gets destroyed by Victor, which is becoming more popular. Probably just an Aurora deck, honestly. Just MF. MF became so much better because the Miracle package died, and
That's a good.
and Fighter Fight's gone. And Fighter Fight's gone. So they can't push it.
There's always a 50% chance that an Aurora deck is going to make the finals. Like that's what happened against Alan ZQ or whatever.
Yeah.
What was that? Where was that regional? I don't remember.
Italy. Bologna.
Yeah, Bologna. It's like I remember like following along, and then I get to the finals, and it's Ezreal versus MF Aurora. I'm like,
the casters said. Remember the casters saying, "Oh, the meta's not that bad. There's no Draven players in the finals." That was awesome.
Yeah,
That was base.
It's like what? Like yeah. So my three are the same as Jose's. I will say. I think that it's Draven, Aurelia, Kaisa.
So you're wrong.
I think that Victor's number 4 though. I think that Victor's number 4.
Yeah.
I will say. And my dark horse is Lucian. And like I don't think that Lucian's like a full-on solitaire deck in the way that Kevin's saying, but low key like the sleeper giga busted card of the set is Ruin Runner.
Yeah.
That card, like there are, I don't know, I don't want to go like on like too much of a rant about game design right now after kind of what we talked about, but Ruin Runner genuinely is the one card where you see it and sometimes you cannot win. Like you can't win. You can't win. Like Ruin Runner, I would say that like if I had to pick like a second dark horse, I would say Yi. I think Yi's is good unless Armando's playing it.
Oh my god.
I was going to Atlanta, man.
Like, dude, Ruin Runner sitting alone. Dude, like, what do you do? What do you do?
It's a beautiful creature, man. You look at it. You look at it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a beautiful camel,
there
man.
you go.
You can't do anything against that card. And like for like it's like Lucian's super manageable until they play a Ruin Runner and they equip their stuff to Ruin Runner, and then it's like GG, right? Like mid-range Yi plays them, and that card is really good, and like it's excellent against Kaisa. It's actually you can't
unchecked power, man. Unchecked power,
especially with the control. Especially if this control, it's unplayable. But if it's mid range, you can kill it. The camel, yeah. So it's like one of those scenarios. Mid range is still good.
Camel's is an extremely good card, but I will say like if I had to predict, I'm gonna say Draven's gonna win. Draven's gonna win Lille. Like some form of mid-range Draven, I think is just gonna take the tournament.
That's the prediction.
Yeah, that's the prediction. What about you, Armando?
I'm on the Aurelia train. I think Aurelia's got it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I think she doesn't struggle as much as before, and she doesn't have to deal with Miracle anymore. So It's a win-win for
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah. So in my playtesting, it's like not even close. So I'm playing Draven. It's not even close. Every other deck is getting blown out except Irelia. Irelia, it's dude, it's even on the shitter, even on the shitters in TCG Arena, like there are some really good
There's some good
Irelia players, and I think my win rates against them against every other deck is like 100%. There, I haven't lost to any. I lost to like one rogue.
Okay.
Yeah. It's I lost to maybe like a singular rogue. A singular rogue like Lucian, I think, or Jax or something like that. And then
double punch
yeah,
first.
oh yeah. But double punch first, like I lost like
What are you
that
gonna
one.
do
But
about that?
yeah, what are you gonna do? But Irelia is even with very special text that I'm playing specifically for Irelia. It's still
That you
like
will not
maybe
reveal.
a six. I can't reveal it just yet, but it's still only like I would say maybe 60-70%, 60-70%. But like, yeah, like that's the one deck where I'm like, yeah, like this is as good as I'll get without completely making the deck against Irelia. Like, yeah, it's close. I think Irelia, Draven are both close for first place. I personally want it to be Draven, and I want it to be my Draven and in my hands.
Really?
But yeah, but
Yeah, Kevin's prediction is Draven in the hands of Kevin.
myself, correct? Yes.
Hey, you're sharing, right? You're sharing the funds. You know, the people feed and feed the people.
Oh, I listen.
Check out
They will
Kevin's metal
get the deck list. They will get the deck list after it's in my hands. The trophy, the metal
record his
card.
deck profile, and we'll
Wow.
upload it like there.
And make $30 million. You know, $300
Yeah.
gazillion
Yeah.
dollars.
Yeah, $30 on Metafy. Yeah, we got it.
I think that the only reason that I'm picking Draven over Aurelia is I think that Victor has gotten better, and I think
Yeah.
that Victor is better against Aurelia, so there's a higher chance that Aurelia gets knocked out earlier in the tournament.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. That's a very good.
But then Draven eats the victors. The problem.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
that's actually a great point because like if Irelias are losing to Victors uh Draven's beating Victor and most of the time still beating Irelia, it seems like Victor might or not Victor, Draven might take it all, right? So if the rock paper, yeah.
What do you feel about Kai? What do you feel about Control Kai'Sa? You think it's viable? Or it's so garbage. I think it's garbage now. I gave up on it on the Kai'Sa.
Yeah, you need mid.
You're not playing
now,
Kai'Sa?
man.
Well, no, what do you feel about mid range? Mid range or Control? What do you
I think
prefer?
mid-range.
I'm asking you.
Wait, you gave up on
it's
Kai'Sa?
gotta be.
No. Right now, I love Kai'Sa. I
He's
still
a-
play
he's-
Kai'Sa.
he's
But
a
right now,
dirty
I'm
Rek'Sai
playing.
player
I'm
right
playing
now.
Rek'Sai. Right now, I'm just
That's
to
crazy.
dude.
Oh,
I know.
do not
Kai'Sa.
play Rek'Sai.
Yeah, but what do you think? What do you think? You think Control's still good, or do you think side note?
No. I think that you had to play Control because the entire meta was inbred about like avoiding combat. But I think that like that was like a necessity, but mid range is just better. Like as soon as I saw like the Kai'Sa lists not running like the Darius, I was like, yo, this sucks. Like what happened? Right? But like
Yeah.
now that you can run the Darius again, like I think that the deck has gotten a lot better. I will say I think Thermo Beam is an overrated card.
No,
Overrated.
that's crazy. It's for your
Yeah,
dude.
it's
It
a
destroys
one-
Aurelia.
it's
That's
a-
insane, bro.
Side deck, bro. It's a
Well-
side deck card.
Well, if they're starting to play these wheels and like the obelisks, the target to give +3, then I think it gets better.
No, it's about
But-
the first and the boots, bro. Actually, that card's the most problematic
The
card.
boots. Okay, the boots
I
is
see.
the most busted purple
Yeah.
card in existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It two might gank and you it's
Dude, boots of swiftness should give 0 might. I will die
Yes.
on this hill.
it should.
Boots of swiftness is the most pushed purple card that they have ever printed in
Yeah,
this game.
it's pretty
That card
good.
is so stupid.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
my
dude.
God.
Okay, but yeah, and also fundamentally, look, equipment cost. Since you only have to pay the energy cost once, and the equipment cost is always wood power or whatever, the cost is irrelevant because you can just. I don't know, dude. This game is. Anyways, let's just move on. Before I get angry.
That's next week's rant from Jose. All right.
Yeah.
Wait, I do want to one last thing on that. I've seen it for myself where it's like there are games where it's like, oh, your opponent has no cards in their battlefield, just the boots, and Irelia can conquer both battlefield. Like if he, yeah, it's crazy because you only need one unit, right? You need one unit. You can have 2 power. You can have 2 power. You play that unit, you equipped it, it it readies, then you gank. There's no combination of cards other than Irelia that can win a game still at like 4 mana, right? Like four runes up and like nothing, no units in your battlefield. Like that's the only deck that can still win the game. So you still have to watch out for like a Celicorn ganking both.
Even
both sides.
early,
It's ridiculous.
sneaky deckhand, next
Yeah.
turn boots, gank over, rich
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's
Four might,
It's
and
cool.
it's four,
And, like-
and it gives you, it makes you 4 might, so you can fight other format pushes. It's dude, the might is a problem. It's the might. It's the might.
it's
Yeah.
the might. It should give +0. It should give +0.
Yeah.
Straight up. And like just the fact, like it is literally like if that card didn't exist, I would expect like the #1 Aurelia stan to be like, this is my custom card, guys. Doesn't this look like perfectly balanced? It's like, no, what are you talking about? This card is busted as hell. Like I've been laughed at for saying it before, but I genuinely think the Boots of Swiftness is like a huge giga mistake card.
No,
I don't
hey,
think it's
low
like
IQ
ban-worthy.
take. They have low IQ takes, bro. We're the
But-
same brain.
600, yeah, 600 IQ. You
All
said.
right, real quick, how do you guys? We'll go down the list again, starting with you, Armando. Unleashed. How do you feel about it?
In terms of what, like game design, gameplay, top
Just like, are you
decks?
excited? Do you think that the game's going to be worse with it out? Better?
I think the game's gonna be better because as you were talking about, there as you add more cards, I think there's gonna be more diversity in just all the decks that you're gonna run. So I'm looking forward to it. I think there's plenty of good decks. I'm looking forward to playing XPE. That's probably one of
Yes.
my top decks, and also like I'll be attending Vancouver, and I'm gonna try to get an Ivan best stuff. But it's
Oh,
I will
okay.
try not to. I'll try to make it. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
It's
yeah,
awful.
yeah, yeah.
It's
No,
awful.
that's
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting. It's exciting.
What do you
Yeah.
think, Kevin?
Next set is it revives some of like the champions that we saw in set one, like Vi, Yi, right? Like I'm a Yi player, I'm a Yi supporter, so I like the XP system. But I do want to say that I think there's one deck that's been kind of emerging in like pre-release and all that stuff, and I want to say I think LeBlanc is looking kind of like Miracle is looking now, so or was looking. So I think that like as much as I think LeBlanc is going to be a problem already.
What
I
are they
think
doing?
LeBlanc.
What are they doing? What are they
You don't
doing
sound
specifically?
excited,
They're
man.
making a problem.
So here's the game plan for LeBlanc, right? It's very similar where you play Karthus and you play just like the drawing, like the LeBlanc drawing and the other one drawing. I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically you play a bunch of these drawing cards, right? And you amass a board that's pretty large from like the copying and the copying, right? And then at near the end game, it's just all like kill spells and like ruination, this and that. And so it's like very uninteractive because you get a hand that's very massive, right? And you also like there's no counterplay to like that style where your hand is just so large and you copying a bunch of stuff and then you're destroying everything. And yeah, it's just I think it's a little too busted. And I usually don't like to make calls this early, but like from what I've seen, it's like it's a fundamental problem with the game rather than like so hopefully I'm wrong.
Not true.
Yeah.
What you got?
Too much complexity. Okay, here again. Hey, complexity in this fucking game. These people are going like 100%. Look, it's cool and all, but like, dude, it's too much stuff going on now. Especially with the LeBlanc stuff. But I also just don't like. I mean, the ambush mechanic is fine, but that's cool. I guess that's a neat mechanic. The XP is cool. It's bait, but it's cool. Like, okay, there's no reward for XP in my opinion, but it's cool. But that flicker mechanic, how you can bounce, you can bounce a brim here. That's insane. That's crazy. You know what I'm talking about? Or the purple one that lets you flicker both.
Yeah.
Unleash. What is it called? Like resummon something.
Yeah.
That's other
We'll
crazy.
have a photo of it up. Yeah.
Yeah. That
You
card,
bounce one
other
of your cards and like one of your opponent's cards.
Yeah.
No. It's the one that lets you
Oh.
summon a card from your graveyard based on
Oh,
the power
that one.
cost. But you can do that with Brim here with certain decks,
Yeah.
which is uninteractive. I don't know. But I'm excited because I'm tired of this meta. I'm tired of Draven.
Yeah.
That's really the point. Again, I'm gonna hate the game. The game's awesome. I love the game. We're doing a fucking podcast for it. So
Yes.
obviously I'm invested enough to
This is
care
for
about
the
it.
money,
but-
man. Just be real.
True.
No, bro.
Yeah.
Anyways. But no, I mean, I think the meta will shaking up. Vex is cool. I think she's a little bait, but she's really cool. And the champion, I'm probably gonna play because I'm just gonna tell you right now, that I need to win with. Okay, because he's awesome. I want to play Ivan, but he's still my Ivan pick.
I stole your Ivan pick.
Yeah, dude, I wanted Ivan. Ivan's
Oh,
awesome. He's
yeah,
a stupid.
for
Oh
sure.
my
bro.
god.
First time I'm hearing
Guaranteed
about
deck.
this.
Here we go. Guaranteed.
He's
I
terrible.
actually want to do LeBlanc as much as I hate her, but I like the design. No, not the design. I like how cool. I like her. I like the colors. Like
I
blue,
agree.
yellow,
The
LeBlanc.
overnumbered LeBlanc legend looks so good.
True.
So for me, I think that I agree. So I think that XP is cool. I think it is technically, and this is a Magic term, it is a parasitic mechanic. And I just want to qualify that. So like currently I'm a Jax player, and like one thing that I get really worried about is we just had the equipment set, and Jax is entirely based on equipment. What happens if they don't print like good equipment, or like if they don't print more than like one or two equipment like a set? Like, is he just going to be bad till we've like gotten a critical mass of equipment? I think XP is going to be like that too, right? Like you're either playing every single XP card in a deck that you possibly can, or you're playing like none, bar like if they have like a design mistake and there's like one XP card that just ends up being like really pushed, right? But like if you want to do like XP payoffs, you're gonna have to run every single XP card, and if you're not doing XP stuff, you're probably gonna run none. So that's what it means by like parasitic mechanic. And like, not to be like too doomer, but I kind of agree with Jose. Like, dude, combat just looks like a nightmare in Unleashed. It's like there's so much going on between like ambush and all these cards that like add cards randomly back from the graveyard or from the hand, or they get blinked and they get deployed. Like, I'm like, what is going to happen with this? So I'm honestly a little concerned. I don't think that ambush is going to, because like I think Annie plays Rengar, but like I don't think anybody plays Rengar currently. I haven't played against
Rengar plays Rengar.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm
when it
talking
comes out,
currently in Spirit Forge.
Oh, yeah,
deploy
yeah.
Rengar from your hand, right? But like, I think that if there's a lot more ambush cards, but I think that the biggest thing about Unleashed is that they're adding 1-drops.
Fair.
I think that's going to be the biggest change that we're going to see to the game, especially like the orange mana dork. That's going to make playing Aurora even faster and even better. That's going to be. I don't know if you run it in the Aurora deck, because then maybe you hit it with the spin.
I would hit it. Yeah.
So,
Maybe,
wait,
but like I don't know. You're mulliganing anyway.
what's the? Are you talking about that 1/1? Oh, like that 1 cost 1 might thing?
No,
Yeah,
the drag.
one might, the girl with the dragon that like you can tap it and it adds an energy. I don't know. Point is, that's gonna be crazy in Yi, right? But like, I don't know. I'm excited, and I don't know. I think Vex is gonna be really good. But I'm a little worried that everything's just gonna get like too frenetic. And we're just gonna see kind of what we saw in set 2, where it's like you have decks who are like, I don't ever want to do combat ever, and decks that are like, I only want to do combat because I have all these combat tricks. And for that reason, I think Kai'Sa is going to be really good in set 3. I think she will always be the combat avoiding queen.
Correct, because they give everything deflect. If you're a 4 cost, you get deflect randomly. It doesn't matter, bro. What do you mean?
I love it. I love the
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's funny.
We'll see. We'll see. Last thing I want to touch on, especially because it's like new, and we're still pretty early in the game. I think before we might close out. Going back down the list, Armando, if you could do one thing, be it like a rules change or add anything or change anything about the game right now, or something that you're hoping that they do in the future, what would it be?
Honestly, it's just fix combat. That's the only thing I have trouble with. You should just make it easier to understand. Don't have all these random ass rules when it comes to it, and that fixes Draven. It probably fixes a lot of the things they probably want to do later. I think that's my big issue with the game at the moment.
Just more clarity on the rules.
Well, that too. That's a separate
issue.
It's nested.
I guess the game design, honestly, and just I'm not sure why they're like half of the cards like. You can use them in a completely different way that they probably thought about, and they're just like, oh yeah, we'll just let people decide how to do it, and continue. So I think that's a big problem. So I think that's my thing, I guess. Just overall game design when it comes to how they ride their how things interact with each other.
Kevin, what you got?
I like that, like fixing the combat thing, and I think the other one, well, the one for me that I've been talking about since set 1 is like conquering on your opponent's turn. So like let's just say you conquer on your turn. Well, I'm playing Draven, so it helps me massively, but I think it's a flaw in the rules because like the game is meant to be like slowed down to the point where you can at most get 2 points every turn basically. Like every one of your turns you can get 2 points. So the issue with this is that let's just say you play sneaky and you conquer on the other battlefield and you conquer on this battlefield, right? And then on your opponent's turn, your opponent conquers on this battlefield, and then like let's just say he hex rays your guy, puts a one might card over there, and then he tries to Kaisa accelerate into the other battlefield. You play Ride the Wind, you ride the wind onto the other battlefield, you score on that battlefield, so now you're at 3, and then it goes back to your turn, and then you get to 4. So it breaks that like 2 per turn battlefield kind of thing, and now you're like scoring on your opponent's battlefield. And I personally think there needs to be like a refresh, right? So like the refresh has to be like
Until your
you
next
can only
turn, you can't
you can
score.
like this battlefield can only be scored on your not on your turn, but like once every single awakening turn. Maybe you like on the beginning turn, like this battlefield then can be scored again, as opposed to it being like scored on your opponent's turn, because you could do it infinitely. So like let's just say you score on that turn on that battlefield, your opponent kills it, right? And then you ride the wind again and you can score again. So you can keep doing that on the like that's the only mechanic where there's no refresh, because you can only hold and conquer on your turn like once. And on your opponent's turn, that just doesn't happen. You can just keep riding the wind there over and over and over again and just keep scoring points. And that just doesn't make sense to me. And it wouldn't be a huge problem if other decks could do it, but purple's the only deck that can really do that. You're the only deck that can score multiple times, like back and forth. Like let's just say you ride the wind twice. What? That means another 2 points? Like that's insane to me. The deck is too fat. Like purple's the only deck that does that. I think they need to fix it.
So we are 2 for 2 with changing the rules to make them better. That's awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Jose.
What they really need to do, give fucking examples when they do rule changes or set up rules.
Yes.
So judges
that's
just
so
know
good.
what
Yes.
they do, bro. For the love of
Yes.
God. Like
Yes.
like the flicker effect for Jax, when they shot him.
Yeah.
But the head judge in Bologna said you can't do it, but the Vegas said you can. Okay.
And then China was like, this will decrease your social credit score if you do it.
Yeah, and say it. That's the whole point. But like, bro, just is it hard to just put some pictures like around or an example? Anything.
Yes.
Dude, you're a multi-million-dollar company, bro. You're making bank. Obviously, just fix that. Oh, and one thing, side note, have you ever noticed a lot of the signature spells are actually ride the wind with an extra step? Lucian, Rengar, dude, what?
Yeah.
Relentless Pursuit, ride the wind. Zenith Blade, ride the wind. Arcane Shift, ride the wind.
Yes, bro.
Yes.
It's insane. But yeah, I mean, another non-rule take. I don't know. I mean, I think the game's fun. I like the game. I don't know, it's cool. Other than that, like other than their goofy ass rules sometimes. Oh yeah, don't be afraid of banning stuff. Okay, they took way too long to ban some of the miracle pieces, in my opinion. Too many tournaments. Like, don't listen to the community. Okay, don't listen to the community. They're whiners about banning. Yeah, at least when it comes to bans, like.
I didn't hear the community call for anything to be banned that didn't actually end up.
No. But dude, if you went in their Twitter post, dude, people were crying. They were like begging, like their mom got murdered, or like I don't know. I don't know. It was happening. Like, don't ban. No, don't listen to copers. They're crying about. Dude, I promise you. Dude, if you went on their Twitter and their post, you see hundreds of people. It's like obviously not a lot of likes because not a big community. But I'm just saying, like, people were just complaining. They love whining. They just love whining. But they're okay with suffering, and they like slop, so it's okay. Their opinion discarded. I'm not gonna defend. No, those people are not. They're not real, bro. Anyways, before we can go forward. What are you?
This might sound weird or like a little bit controversial, but like as like a longtime League player, and like Armando, I'll be curious to your opinion on this because I
League 2
played League.
I
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Something that I would honestly love to see, and again, this might sound weird or like sound like a little strange, but like I really want them to start experimenting with design in a way that doesn't feel like it has to be so explicitly tied to the video game. What I mean by that is if you look at like a legend, for basically every legend that we've had so far, I feel like everything is predetermined to a point, and I think that's bad for game design. So you look at Draven. If you had to ask people what colors Draven was going to be, you were probably going to get purple and red. And then if you look at his legend ability in the game, he gets rewarded for winning combats.
Yeah.
In the TCG, he gets rewarded for winning combats, right? I'm just worried that like we might get to a point, and I think that we've already started to experience it, where the balance of specific cards and specific legends is affected by the IP coming from the game to the detriment of balance. And that's something that I really want them to be careful about moving forward, because I think that the game is almost potentially in a situation where they are hamstrung by going along with what like the character in the game deals with. And Draven is my best example for that. But like just vibes wise, of course he's going to be red and purple, and then his ability is really strong. And the problem with that is the card pool doesn't seem to be as predeterministic as like some of the legends, but those things are like inextricable. And I'm just worried that like we might end up with more Draven situations where like, oh well, Ivern, of course you're gonna make him green and yellow. Those are the kind of the colors that he's gonna go with. But do the cards match up with those domains? Like, are we determining the card pool by the domains of the legends that we're making based off of like the game IP, or based off of the domain identities? And like I really think that it seems like they might be struggling a lot with balance around those domains, with again having the legends in one bucket and like the card pool in the other bucket. And that's something that I'm really worried about. Like if you named any champion, I could basically tell you what their domains were going to be. Like Armando, wouldn't you agree? Like you can kind of vibe it out by like most of the champ. Viego, he's going to be purple yellow. Like I will be very surprised if he's not. Shyvana, orange red.
Yeah.
Right? Like we could go on and on and on. And like their legend abilities are also really heavily tied to their champion, right? So like I just get really worried about the limitation of the design of the legends versus how that coincides with the versus the card pool. Bit complicated, but like I just get worried because I don't think that domain identity really exists right now. Why the hell does Chaos get so much card selection? What are we doing? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Wrong. I'm just gonna say wrong. Wrong. No, I'm just saying like I don't know. To some degree, they have to attach it. Yeah, but I think. Yeah, but I'm like at the same. But it wouldn't be Riftbound if they did that. That's what my point. It just wouldn't be Riftbound. And sometimes you're gonna have mismatching domains and colors. But I mean, not all decks are supposed to be good. So
I guess I guess one way to solve it though is that you can obviously reprint a legend with a different skin on it from the game and then change.
Or that, yeah.
Or do something
that could be cool. That could
be something.
Yeah, I think maybe the answer has less to do with the legends, but I really do hope that we see more and a lot more focused domain identity, because right now I just don't think that there's a lot of domain identity. Like orange is kind of big stuff, kind of, and purple gets everything, but I think that the rest of the cards are a little bit, or the rest of the domains are a little bit like shakier. And I just think that having domains be so kind of like unfocused is a problem when they're stapled to the legends in the way that they are.
I think it's just like the beginning of a new game to some degree. I mean, they're always going to be kind of limited. And also the skin thing, like the reason I said wrong specifically is like I thought about the skin thing. Like you can always make a specific color. Like let's say they want to make an Ivern that's like purple red. You put like the evil Ivern. Right, or
Evil
purple.
Ivern.
Yeah,
that's my favorite skin.
It is, yeah.
Ivern.
But that's exactly it. I'm just saying. So
Hard Maokai.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about that. I will agree with the domain thing, but it's a new game. So
Yeah. But I don't know. They've made enough mistakes that I'm like, they need to fix this.
This
as
is
compared to
Riot,
just being
man.
like, oh, it's
dude,
a new
it's
game.
right. You do it
That's
like
what they do.
I will say, I love the idea of skins for like
Infinite
inverted legends or
universes. Yeah,
something.
infinite
That
universes.
is,
Yeah.
I have not heard that idea before. That is a really cool idea. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right. I think
All
that
right.
brings us. I think
We're
that
all
brings us
tired.
to the end of
My voice tired.
Of the first
Episode one.
episode, yeah.
Yeah.
of the Unbound podcast.
Yeah.
I
Thanks
can get us
for-
demonetized if we
thanks.
need that. Do we
Yeah,
demonetize
I
the show
mean-
right now?
I please don't.
If you guys, no, if you guys see us at Atlanta or anything,
At
feel free to
Atlanta.
say hi. You know, we'll
Kevin
be
and I are
there.
going to Atlanta.
We're going to
I think-
Vancouver.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Kevin's not going to Vancouver.
Yeah.
But he's gonna win, so he's gonna get invited to Vancouver. All right?
Exactly.
Oh!
You see, you're already picking up what I'm putting down.
I believe in the Master Yi brother.
Yeah.
True.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, if you see us, say hi, and I think we'll be back. We'll be back next week for more hot takes.
Of course.
Yeah, we'll have that tournament to cover. So
Tier list,
That's
bro.
exciting.
Tier list, bro. We need
yes,
a
tier
That's
list.
true.
Yeah.
We'll go post Lille tier list. I gotta look that shit up. My brother.
You're a
My
point,
brother
bro.
lived in
Leave him alone,
France
bro.
for like 10 years, and I don't know how to say it.
Damn.
God bless.
All right.
Thanks for listening, guys.
All right. See ya.